Hi, I'm Dave Leftoff from the Power Skating Academy. Hopefully, everybody's doing well out there right now. In this time when we can't skate, I'm getting asked questions: what can we do to move forward, and what can help us be better hockey players, better skaters? A question that has been coming to me since way before COVID 19 is a two-part kind of question. Running technique compared to skating technique, how similar is it? And I'm training for running to make me a better skater. And is running good for my skating? So let's talk about the basic ideas that I talked before, that to be a great hockey player, you really need to be a great athlete first. Part of becoming a great athlete is the ability to run, because running is a complex motion that needs a lot of coordination between the limbs. It's about body control, and it's about gait, which is rhythm and flow. It also needs leg and hip strength. So all of those things are very similar basic concepts to skating. So if you become a better runner, and if you do some running and you work on your technique of running and being controlled, I think it's going to be great. Being better in shape, better cardio, better lung recovery times, using your legs and generating power, getting your glutes to fire, all of those type of exercises while running will help your skating. One of the main problems that I talked about is skating is not a natural movement. So is running really going to help your skating technique? No. Nothing helps skating like skating. So don't get me wrong, you should run. And especially when you can't skate, I think it's a good idea to do some running. I'd probably even recommend just go out and running on grass first rather than pavement, to maybe ease your feet and ease your knees and hips into running. We'll post some ideas of some running technique on the bottom of these videos, or links to something to help people with some basic ideas if you want to work on running. So getting back to the comparison now, the problem is comparing running to skating. People say you got to use sprinting technique when you're skating. It is not the same thing. First of all, the biggest difference, the medium is completely different. A running shoe on pavement versus a skate and a blade on the ice. So first, running shoe on pavement, huge amount of friction. So the idea is to put less running shoe for less time on the ground is a big component to running faster. It kind of works almost opposite, not totally opposite, but you need to have more time on the ice. Because even through your stride, as you're leaning into that inside edge, your blade is actually accelerating during the push, during the stride, even before you get to the end of the stride. So you need to have fairly quick leg speed in skating, but leg speed is not the key component to speed. Technique and desire win about strength and foot speed. People can want to compare the idea of, oh, it's all about quick feet. So, yeah, you want to be athletic. That's what athletic is. You can move quickly. You can turn sideways. You can jump up. A good athlete can do those things. And at those standard good athlete levels, you can skate fast. At a certain point, you go past the point of gaining any return. If your feet move too fast, you actually skate slower. You need to have the glide component in your skating. Another big difference between skating and running is hip rotation. The idea of when you move, when you walk or run, your feet are in this position and your hip is only moving forward and back. When you skate, now you have rotation. You know, people have rotator cuff issues in their shoulder because you don't have the same strength, but you can generate even more strength and power when you add rotation. If you look at the idea of when I was talking about football kickers that kick on an angle, the European kickers came in because at hip rotation you can generate a lot of torque and force. But you need more muscles and different muscles to coordinate that movement. Another big difference is between skating and running. A big difference between skating and running is what you're wearing and how your foot works on that. When you run, you're trying to really get your big toe flexes all the way back, getting, the ball of the foot stretches the tendons and the tendons elongate all the way through the arch of the foot. That helps to generate a lot of energy. The difference, what I said, the medium, now you're in a skate that has a rock hard sole of the skate. So if your toe flexes, all that happens is you start to crunch up and you get tension. So you need to initiate the pressure, and the push is all different through the whole foot and less through just the toes and ball of the foot. So it's funny because we talk about toe flick as a huge part of the speed, but the toe flick is really generated through the ball of the foot more so than just the toe. You end on the toe, but it's really through the ball of the foot that generates that energy. In skating, technique always wins over brute strength. So that's why we spend a lot of time going slow in our lessons to really get the feeling of loaded up, weight transfer, balance. I talked about running as a great way for working on coordination and balance and rhythm. Small arm movements, chest facing forward, all of those ideas, the same thing in skating. Quiet upper body, more upright upper body, quiet and neutral head position. You don't want to let a head moving because that starts to lead you or lean you a certain way. So in skating, because of the requirements of hockey where you need to get around people, you have physical contact, your balance needs to be even more honed and stronger through uncomfortable movements. You're going to get pushed over to one side. You need to be really knee bent, more so than running, loaded up so you can drive back the other way or rotate the other way. Now, in the middle of your stride, when your hips are open and rotated, you need to recover that hip back for turning totally opposite different directions. So there's a lot of movements that are more complex, but running can help, and running can be a great tool to use right now. We're going to post some stuff and maybe superimpose some little pictures that can show more about what I'm talking about. But I'd love to people to reach out and discuss this because this is a huge topic that can go on forever. If you're really thinking about running as a big goal for your skating, why don't you try inline skating? That can really be the closest, not exactly the same, but the closest thing to skating that can use a lot of the similar muscles, similar balance ideas, similar foot in a skate and movement over balancing over one point of ground or ice touch. A lot of those components will work. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about more skating technique because I've done a couple of lessons with people. So maybe that'll be the next one. Have a great day. Talk to you soon.